Hello my friends, this is Lionheart89, and in this video I am going to be doing my very best and in the most unbiased way possible break down a fight between a Barbary lion and a grizzly bear in the wild. Now, in the wild, we have to take into account that there can be factors. For the lion, it would definitely be a factor of stamina. Like, if lion encounters the bear under circumstances where it may have already exhausted itself throughout the day, then we have to take into account that the lion may not have enough stamina to fight the bear for a long duration. So if this fight does go on for too long, then it is going to favor the bear. Now, obviously, if we were to put all that aside and just say, well, you know, we can set up a set of circumstances so that the lion is on a full tank and, you know, we can give it the necessary meat and we can let it sleep for 20 hours and then it'll have all of the stamina to fight. Yeah, that's true. You know, people could do that, but it's not realistic and consistent with the way that lion would be in nature if he were to encounter something. So the reality is it's not realistic. It's not realistic and consistent with the way that lion's stamina is going to be in nature. Okay. Now, even when grizzly is malnourished, he still has stamina. So, like, even when these two animals would have fought each other, if they were both fighting each other malnourished, if they were put to the death and fighting each other malnourished, you know, the lion would be the one disadvantaged because he wouldn't have that much stamina. The bear will probably have much more stamina, even though he's malnourished. So the bear would have had the advantage in terms of stamina. So in fights, I definitely think that some of these lion and bear fights definitely would have been a factor of stamina. And I think in the wild, it can also be a factor of stamina if this fight just goes on too long. It is going to favor grizzly if this fight does go on for too long. So let's get to it. We're talking about a direct initiation of combat, and the lion and the bear are going to encounter each other under circumstances where they've both taken in nourishment, they've both eaten, and they both have a mentality to fight. Okay. So what's going to happen is the lion and the bear are going to come into contact. They're both going to try and intimidate each other, but they're probably most likely going to fail. So this is going to result in an inevitable physical exchange between the two. So they'll both pass the psychological resistance check. Neither of them would be intimidated. And then it will inevitably result in physical assertiveness from both animals. And they will be exchanging from the hind leg posture. A lot of people don't think that. I mean, this is what would happen. They would be exchanging from the hind leg posture, because lion can fight on his hind legs, but I think he's a bit disadvantaged when he's fighting on his hind legs, because lions, they don't have the strongest hind legs. And, you know, I'd say he probably only be able to do that momentarily against a bear. A bear could just stand on its two legs all day. You know, so I'm saying that, and not just that, you know, but grizzly also is able to outmuscle a lion in this posture and throw him to the ground and pin him down and bite him. So grizzly has a big advantage strength-wise. And to pin the lion down and, you know, exploit the lion's vulnerability, do some damage. And and it gives Grizzly a very psychological edge too, and I'll explain why. Because, you know, if you run at somebody, try and outmuscle them, but they're too strong for you and they throw you down. You get back up again, you try and do the same thing, they throw you back down. You try and get up again and do it again, they throw you back down again. Eventually, the psychological effect is going to kick in where you're just going to say, he's too strong for me, I can't fight him. Okay, so I'm saying that the lion's mentality to fight here is going to be thoroughly tested. And, you know, the question is, will he become discouraged in the battle, or will he continue on fighting? That's the real question everybody's trying to answer. Now, it simply depends on the specimen. It depends upon whether the specimen is scared to fight the bear or not. But I definitely think for lion it is a factor of stamina. It's not a factor of protection. It's not a factor of durability. Lions are definitely tough enough to fight bears. They definitely have a lot of protection in the neck because Barbary lions have the thickest manes, and they have a lot of protection in the abdomen, part of the upper back, the neck. They have very good protection there. So I'm saying it's not a factor of durability or protection for lion. It's mainly stamina that really lets him down in this fight. It doesn't mean he can't still win, but I'm just saying that, you know, he can't make this fight go on for too long, because if it does go on for too long, I would have to favor Grizzly in this fight. But I still think lion could win this fight, definitely. But you know, but if we're talking about long endurance fights, I don't think I'd favor lion. You know, I think that the bear is, you know, going to steal it, you know, later on. So it really is lion stamina that really lets him down. So, but if Grizzly is on his 4 feet in this fight, you know, it's very advantageous to lion. Because Grizzly can't really pin lion down in this fight unless he's on his 2 feet. Because he can't grab hold of him and then throw him down and utilize his strength in the way that he wants to, because Grizzly isn't designed to utilize his strength on his 4 legs. He has to be on his 2 legs to pin the lion down. And he's anatomically designed that way. So if Grizzly's on his 4 legs, lion can spring at him, hit him with his claws, and, you know, do the damage that he needs to do. You know, on his 2 legs against Grizzly doing that, it's going to be much harder for him to do that damage. And Grizzly definitely has the strength advantage in that kind of posture exchange from the hind legs. He could definitely grab lion and pin him down very easily, and, you know, and bite him and do damage, you know. And not just that, Grizzly gets a psychological edge every time he does this. If he does this consistently to lion, it's definitely going to have a psychological effect at some point. Okay. Now, I do believe that lion could win this fight, but not easily. And I definitely think that stamina is definitely going to be a factor in this fight for him. Now, he could win. He could beat Grizzly, but I don't think he's killing him in the wild. I don't think a fight is generally, you know, gonna be to the death. It's not, you know, because really these animals have an option of flight and escape. There's only going to be very rare exceptions of a fight to the death between these animals and nature. This won't be a fight to the death regardless of who wins, okay? Now, I think I would probably favor Grizzly because of lion's poor stamina. I think it's stamina that lets lion down here in this fight, not his fighting ability or his fighting IQ or even his anatomic durability. I think he has all of the necessary components. I think his stamina is what really lets him down here. So and really, like, in my opinion, both can win. But if I were to put these two in a fight head to head, I think Grizzly would take this because it's just Lion's stamina is just not good enough. He just doesn't have enough stamina to fight the bear. On a full tank, I think Lion would have a way better chance. If there was a specific set of conditions and Lion had a full tank, then yeah, he'd have a much better chance in head-to-head fights against Grizzly. But it's not realistic with the way this would be in the wild. In the wild, Lion would definitely not have as much stamina to fight the bear. And it's definitely going to potentially play a factor. Okay, just realistically speaking, no bullshit. This is just how the reality, the way it's going to be. It doesn't mean that Lions still can't win, because some fights between these animals in nature can be very short. It doesn't mean that all of the fights are going to be long endurance. So, some of these fights are a lot shorter than people think. So it doesn't mean that Lion can't still win this fight. He can't. But I just generally wouldn't favour him because of how poor his stamina is. So, but yeah, but Grizzly has exceptional durability. He has incredible level of stamina. Like, he has so much stamina. He is so strong. And he has a very psychological edge to pin the Lion down consistently, and he is going to get a psychological edge from that. So I'm saying Lion's mentality is going to be very tested in this fight, and if Grizzly does gain a psychological edge from consistently pinning him down, it could result in Lion backing off and fleeing. It could result in Lion fleeing the battle, So I'm saying it will probably require a very aggressive specimen of Barbary Lion to just consistently fight with the bear, and I just think stamina is definitely a factor in this. I don't really think that it's really going to be a fight to the death. I'd say only in rare cases. And if the bear wins, I think the Lion's probably going to flee in the fight. He'll either flee in the fight or he'll be killed by the bear. But I would say the likelihood is he will probably flee instead. I don't really think that this is going to be a fight to the death in a general sense, just because of the strategic option of flight that these animals have in nature, to escape the fight. But it goes without saying that these two are very much capable of injuring one another in a fight. They're very much capable of hurting one another, and they are definitely both a threat to each other. So we can't discount the possibility of them both fleeing in a battle, and they can both win. And I would say that it would definitely be a good fight. I think that the Lion will either win under high or extreme difficulty against the Grizzly, or he will lose. And that is my prediction of this breakdown altogether. I mean, I know that there's probably a lot of bear fans that think that Lion is not tough enough to fight a bear, but there are definitely specimens of Barbary Lion that would have lived that definitely would have been tough enough to fight grizzlies in the wild. It's not a factor of durability for lions. Some lions are tougher than bears. There are probably some male lions that would have lived that would have even probably been tougher than bears. So I'm saying not all of them would have been, but a selection of specimens. There would have been a selection of specimens that would have been surprisingly more durable than a grizzly. And don't get me wrong when I'm saying this. I don't mean like the biggest specimens of grizzly or Kodiak bears or polar bears or massive bears that are very durable in this way, because obviously a bigger bear is bound to be more durable than a smaller bear. But I'm talking about bears that are probably not as big as the biggest grizzlies are. I'm probably talking about maybe 700 to 750 pound specimens. Not like the biggest bears. Okay. Yeah, obviously, I think Grizzly's advantages in this fight are going to be his predatory IQ, his stamina, his strength, his bite force is another, his fangs, and I think that his durability. And I would definitely say that Grizzly's size is definitely going to give him a psychological edge in this battle too. I think that Grizzly's main disadvantage in this battle is the fact that he's a solitary predator, because if Lion hurts him early on in the fight, if Lion has a great deal of success hurting his neck and breaking through with his claws and tearing away at his flesh and wounds him, that can make Grizzly's solitary instincts kick in, and Grizzly could definitely consider fleeing the battle to prevent injury. So I'm going to go with Lion's advantages in this fight now. Lion has 8 foreclaws. He has 4 fangs. He has his bite force. He has the mane. He has an abdominal mane too. So it's protecting the neck, the upper part of the back, and the abdomen. The lion has the speed advantage. He has which means he's going to be more evasive and have more locomotion and be quicker when he's striking. So I think that's an advantage for Lion. I think that Lion has enough durability to fight Grizzly too. Even though he could get injured by Grizzly, that's always a possibility. There's always a possibility that they can injure each other. I think that power is something that Lion can use in this fight too. And Grizzly has power in his own way, though I probably doubt that he would use his paw swipe in this fight against Lion. I don't think Grizzly would use his paw swipe. I think that his power is more associated with his bite force and in combination with his strength to pin the lion down and bite. I think power's more relevant in terms of bite force for Grizzly than his paw swipe. I just couldn't really see him using his paw swipe. Even though Grizzlies do use their paw swipe sometimes, it's pretty rare for them to use it. So unless Grizzly is using his paw swipe, then yeah, his power will also apply to his paw swipe, not only his bite force. And I would say that the power of the lion's bite force and paw swipe applies in the same way too. So power is an advantage that they will both have in this fight. Power is another advantage for Grizzly. That was an advantage for Grizzly as well that I failed to mention earlier. Yeah, but I think the general outcome of this fight is based upon the animal's mentality to fight, and stamina can also be a factor in it too. But my prediction of my 2 outcomes of this fight, and I don't think it's very easy to predict this, I think that the lion is winning under high or extreme difficulty against the bear, or he is going to lose to the bear. I think if the fight doesn't go on for too long, I think the lion has a better chance. However, if this is a long endurance battle that requires more energy, then I would have to give this fight to Grizzly. I think both of these animals are going to have an advantage of fighting IQ. With the Grizzly, it's going to be the fighting IQ of grappling, and the lion is going to have the fighting IQ of striking. But whether this encounter is shorter or longer, I just don't think that this is going to be an easy fight for Lion to win. And I just don't think he's going to win it easily. But that's it for today, guys. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I could use more subscribers on this channel. And I hope to see you again on the next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye for now.